Here, Grandfather. Right here.
It's finished. Quick, before I forget it. Pencil and paper. Hurry, please. Ready?
Yes, all ready, Grandfather.
How calmly does the olive branch observe the sky begin to blanch, without a cry, without a prayer, with no betrayal of despair. Sometime, while night obscures the tree, the zenith of its life will be gone past forever. And from thence a second history will commence. A chronicle no longer gold, a bargaining with mist and mold, and finally the broken stem, the plummeting to earth, and then an intercourse not well designed for beings of a golden kind, whose native green must arch above the earth's obscene, corrupting love. And still the ripe fruit and the branch observe the sky begin to blanch, without a cry, without a prayer, with no betrayal of despair. Oh, courage! Could you not as well select a second place to dwell, not only in that golden tree, but in the frightened heart of me? Have you got that, Hannah?
Yes, Grandfather.
All of it?
Every word.
And it's finished?
Yes.
Finally finished?
Yes, finally finished.
And it's good.
Beautiful.
Is it good?
Beautiful, Grandfather. Oh, Grandfather, I'm so happy for you. Thank you for writing such a lovely poem. It's worth the long wait. Can you sleep a little now? I'll fetch your shawl.
I'd like to pray now.
Sammy got him and upon him, Sammy said that time is getting great. Said I know Sammy, Sammy isn't great. But Sammy got him and upon him, Sammy got him and upon him, Sammy
Light breaks where no sun shines. Where no seas run, the waters of the heart push in their tide, and broken ghosts with glowworms in their heads, the things of light, file through the flesh where no flesh decks the bones. A candle in the thighs warms youth and seed and burns the seeds of age. Where no seed stirs, the fruit of man unwrinkles in the stars, bright as a fig. Where no wax is, the candle shows its hairs. Dawn breaks behind the eyes. From poles of skull and toe, the windy blood slides like a sea. Nor fenced nor staked, the gushers of the sky spout to the rod, divining in a smile the oil of tears. Night in the socket rounds like some pitch moon the limits of the globes. Day lights the bone. Where no cold is, the skinning gales unpin the winter's robes. The film of spring is hanging from the lids. Light breaks on secret lots, on tips of thought where thoughts smell in the rain. When logics die, the secret of the soil grows through the eye, and blood jumps in the sun. Above the waste allotment, the dawn halts.
Sounds of the Meditations.
Sometimes a night funeral going by carries home a cool bop daddy. Hearse and flowers guarantee he'll never hype another patty. It's hard to believe, but dead in there, he'll never lay a hype nowhere. He's my ace boy, gone away. Wake up and live, he used to say. Squares who couldn't dig him, plant him now. Out where it makes no diff nohow. I play it cool and dig all jive. That's the reason I stay alive. My motto as I live and learn is dig and be dug in return.
Mary Hamilton's to the kirk gane, with ribbons in her hair, and the king thocht mair of Mary Hamilton than ony that was there. Mary Hamilton's to the kirk gane, with ribbons at her breast, and the king thocht mair of Mary Hamilton than he listened to the priest. Mary Hamilton's to the kirk gane, with ribbons in her hand, and the king thocht mair of Mary Hamilton than the queen in all her land. She hadn't been about the king's court a month, but barely in, when she was beloved by all the king's court, and the king the only man. She hadn't been about the king's court a month, but barely 3, when for the king's court Mary Hamilton durstna be. The king is to the abbey gane, to pull the abbey tree and scale the babe the Mary's heart, but the thing it wouldn't be. She's rowed it in her apron, and she's set it in the sea, saying, "Gae sink ye or swim, ye bonny babe, he's get nae mair of me." But word is to the kitchen gane, and word is to the ha', that Mary Hamilton's brocht to bed, and the bonny babe's missed in a wa', for scarce had she lain doon again, and scarcely fawn asleep, when up there started your good queen, and stood at her bed's feet, saying, "Where's your babe, Mary Hamilton, for I'm sure I heard it greet." Oh no, my noble queen, think nae sic thing to be. 'Twas but a stitch into my side, and sair it troubled me. Get up, Mary Hamilton, get up and follow me, for I am gone to Edinburgh toon, a rich wedding for to see. Oh, slowly raise she up, and slowly put she on, and slowly rade she out the way where money's a weary grown. Ride hooly, gentlemen, ride hooly noo wi' me, for never am sure a wearier bird rade in your company. The queen was clad in scarlet, her merry maids all in green, and ilke toon that they passed through took Mary for the queen. Why weep ye so, ye burgess wives? Why look ye so on me? For I am gone to Edinburgh toon, a rich wedding for to see. But little wist Mary Hamilton, when she rade on the brown, that she was gone to Edinburgh town, ought to be put down. For when she rade through the Netherbow port, she laughed, loud laughters three, but lang ere she came by again, the tears blinded her ee. When she gaed up the tall booth steps, the corks for her heels did flee, but lang ere she came down again, she was condemned to die.
Ah, but she was the queer old scousha anyhow, Anne Olivia Trinket told. And sure he was the queer old bunce too, dear dirty dumpling, who's their father of Fingalls and Gaffergills. Gaffer and Gammer were all their gangsters. Hadn't he 7 dams to wive him, and every dam had her 7 crutches, and every crutch had its 7 hues, and each hue had a differing cry, suds for me and supper for you, and the doctor's bill for George on.
The first reaction of readers was predictable. Complete bafflement. Some suspected a hoax. Others wondered if the writing of Ulysses had softened Joyce's brain. Even Miss Weaver, who had applauded Joyce's experiments in Ulysses, was appalled by his latest efforts.
Black people keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Man called Sugar Miner. Say nobody with no riot. Yeah, you better keep quiet.
way, but it's on. And I'm gonna walk on. S.W.A.L.K. It's on. I'm gonna walk on. S.W.A.L.K. Said I know Sammy. Sammy isn't real. Said I know Sammy. Sammy got him and the